A global pandemic spread across the earth early in the year, and we really weren't sure what it all meant. Some disregarded it as just another Asian flu. Others saw it as maybe a little bit more of a life-threatening virus, but certainly not a global pandemic. As March progressed, we suddenly realized this was not another flu. This was something of serious consequence. Infection was spreading faster. People were dying faster. There were no medications to inhibit the march of this virus. There was no vaccine to protect us. We didn't know what to do, so we reached up and shut off the control panels of our economy, and we stopped driving. We stopped flying, and we stopped going to work. We huddled in our homes and we worried, and the world slowed from 100 miles per second to a snail's pace. People by the millions stopped commuting to work because they were stuck. They couldn't. By the end of April, a few weeks into this, we saw a miracle. We saw that the air over Los Angeles was clear. As a matter of fact, in all the years that there's been monitoring of air quality and visibility in Los Angeles, in April it became the clearest in recorded history. China, one of the heaviest polluters on Earth, suddenly found the air was clear and the water was clear, and all of the industrialization, the impact of that was suddenly receding and dropping back. Now, all of that didn't last for long. We had maybe a 6 or 8 week window, and then we started to go back to work, and people wanted to reopen. As that has occurred, we're seeing the occlusion of visibility. We're seeing the sound rise at inordinate levels. We're once again moving back into a dark place. For a moment, a brief few weeks, we were given a gift to see what possibly could occur. But what actually happened? What happened is that humans were forced to stand down. Humans were forced by nature in the form of a virus to stop. Nature spoke up and said, "Enough." The ramifications of that, though they've been just devastating to the human population, and the hundreds of thousands of deaths and the trillions of dollars of economic loss, and the social upheaval that's occurred, and the confusion and fighting, while all that's happening with humans, the Earth has been celebrating. There's an unbreakable connection between all things. It's observable everywhere if one is watching, listening for it. When we wake up and understand this connectedness, it causes us to reorient. It reorients our posture. It reorients our thinking and our speaking and our behavior. It reorients our reality. We become something different than what we were before. The great gift is still speaking to us, saying it is possible. It is actually possible to change the world if humans will take a new role. When we look at the design community, we find that we're obsessed with the idea of human experience. We design for human experience. We orient for human experience. We build for human experience. Why is that? Why is it that humans have so exalted themselves that they are everything? It may go back to Protagoras' idea that man is the measure of all things. What an arrogant, presumptuous idea, because humans are simply one more organic piece of a greater whole. Our design orientation must redefine our place in the connectedness of life and living. When we take on this idea, we change what the definition of experience means. Not that everything serves us, but that we collaborate and cooperate with everything. Right now, our obsession is that everything is to our own end, but we've realized, after COVID-19, how fragile we are in such an equation. We must move from being the ones assaulting the earth to ones who come alongside and are a part of the earth. But what does an intimate partner do when they come alongside one another? Well, they listen, they respond, they acquiesce, they serve, they love, and we've been doing almost all the opposite. Our place finds its expression in 4 essential elements: water, land, air, and energy. And we have a new orientation to these 4 essentials, particularly in the built environment. We must see beyond simply the macro, down to the micro level of these elements and their experience with humanity. All of this leads us eventually into a discussion of, so what? Our behavior in the context of globalization must change. Our incursions into nature, as if we owned it all and had unencumbered rights to it all, must stop. The science is mounting that we have crossed lines to our own demise. Without consideration or understanding, we have assaulted nature, and now nature is slapping us back. Previously encountered organisms, pathogens, and viruses have now entered our space, simply because we entered their space, obtuse to their existence and power over us. Pandora's box has been cracked open, but it's not too late for us to close it. So what about the built environment industry? What is our call to action? It's all a matter of open-eyed decision-making, defined effort, and don't blink determination to make fundamental changes. Each firm must decide, each firm must define what it means to be environmentally responsible. Each firm must determine, come hell or high water, they will not veer off course. By the way, this current COVID-19 period is hell and high water, so now is the time to pivot from old rationalized, irresponsible decisions to this new way. Can the built environment industry lead education? Maybe we educate students of all ages about dwellings and energy consumption and landscape value. Maybe we teach about our stewardship, about our place in the earth. Maybe such education is required curriculum in all 12 years of elementary and secondary education. Maybe it becomes so much a part of our community DNA that it's an exception if people aren't doing it, as opposed to the way things are today. Maybe education goes on for life, and that we never stop honoring what is right and good and true about our relationship, our place in the earth. Then we must learn to celebrate not only once a year on Earth Day, but regularly, celebrating the wonders of our placement in the earth. What kind of celebrations are we having when we pass a piece of land to one another, to another generation? Is there a celebration? There are cultures in this earth, or maybe they've gone, that would celebrate the rite of passage into being a part of a piece of land and caring for it. That you were given this as a gift to take care of, not to abuse or to exploit. There's a wonderful new way open to us now. We see it. It's only a matter of deciding, acting, and doing it together. The choices before us are clear. Either stand for ethical action regarding environmental responsibility, or allow things to keep going as they have. Either define and articulate the firm and measurable actions your firm will take to reduce carbon, or pretend it doesn't matter. Either get behind the goals and standards most are adopting, or stand on the sidelines and do little or nothing. We are now on a knife's edge of decision-making. We are now at an either-or intersection. Join us in doing what is right and good and true. Thanks for being with us. This session of the Design Futures Council Leadership Summit on the Future of Environmental Responsibility is now adjourned. Until next time.